Swift. Here's some news getting dragged back into the legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Baldoni's team subpoenaed Taylor Swift. They wanted Taylor Swift to...
A judge ruling just yesterday that Baldoni can have access to messages between Swift and Lively, who had been close friends.
I guess, produce documents and release her texts, at least those between Taylor and Blake Lively.
Lively previously claimed Swift had knowledge of the working environment on the film It Ends With Us.
And Taylor's team objected, and then some other stuff happened, which I'm going to get to. But the long and the short of it is, back to Brian Friedman.
No comment at this hour from Swift or Baldoni. Lively, meanwhile, is suing Baldoni for alleged sexual harassment and retaliation.
He withdrew the subpoena for Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift's lawyers came out. A spokesperson said, oh, we're pleased.
Told People magazine she will continue to call out Baldoni's relentless efforts to exploit Miss Swift's popularity.
That Baldoni's legal team has withdrawn their harassing subpoenas to Taylor Swift and her law firm.
Just when I thought the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni case couldn't get any messier, it did. And again, it involves Taylor Swift.
He has just dropped a subpoena on Taylor Swift.
So not only did Justin Baldoni's legal team subpoena Taylor Swift, which her team is actively fighting against because she literally has nothing to do with the case.
She was alleged to have been at this meeting at Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' New York City penthouse.
Justin Baldoni's legal team has claimed that they have received insider information from a source who is highly likely to have reliable information,
where they discussed a scene that Blake had rewritten. Justin has said that the meeting got very heated.
That Blake Lively apparently asked Taylor Swift to delete text messages.
And that he felt ambushed because Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds, was there. And then Taylor Swift showed up.
And another allegation that stated that Blake Lively's lawyer actually reached out to Taylor's lawyer and demanded that Taylor put out a public statement in support of Blake.
Blake also sent Justin a text message claiming Taylor Swift was her dragon and Blake Lively was Khaleesi.
If Taylor doesn't do so, they threaten to leak private messages between Taylor and Blake that pertain to personal things.
Don't find this surprising at all. I think most lawyers would subpoena a witness to this critical meeting.
On top of this, Justin Baldoni's lawyer is now saying that this could be used as evidence of an attempt to coerce or intimidate a potential witness in the case.
And the fact that she's Taylor Swift doesn't allow her to be treated any differently.
What? The tension between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni didn't just appear out of nowhere. It grew out of what was supposed to be one of the most high-profile romantic drama films in years. It Ends With Us was pitched as a passion project, a prestige adaptation that could boost Baldoni's directing career and give Lively a dramatic role to sink her teeth into. But what began as a glamorous Hollywood collaboration slowly unraveled into one of the industry's messiest public feuds. Behind the scenes, disagreements reportedly escalated from creative clashes on set to deeply personal accusations, with Lively eventually filing a lawsuit that threw the entire project under a dark cloud. Baldoni didn't take it quietly. He fired back with his own legal filings, launching a countersuit that sought hundreds of millions in damages, accusing Lively of damaging his reputation and attempting to derail his career. This wasn't just a court battle, it became a media spectacle, with every new filing and leaked email making its way to gossip headlines within hours. And as the case gathered momentum, the fight moved far beyond the courtroom. Friends, colleagues, and even bystanders to the drama started getting pulled into the narrative, whether they liked it or not. That's when one name, in particular, a name with unmatched influence and a fan base unlike any other, entered the picture, and the stakes instantly skyrocketed. When a Hollywood legal fight turns public, names have a way of getting dragged in, sometimes intentionally, sometimes just by proximity. But in this case, the moment Blake Lively brought Taylor Swift into the conversation, the entire dynamic of the lawsuit shifted. Taylor wasn't a witness, she wasn't a business partner, and she wasn't even remotely involved in the It Ends With Us production. Her only connection was personal. A long-standing friendship with Lively that had been celebrated in interviews, paparazzi shots, and even public appearances at award shows. But once Lively's legal strategy and public comments started dropping Taylor's name, it gave the case a whole new level of media heat. According to insiders, this mention was not random, it was calculated. Lively's team allegedly wanted to highlight her powerful allies, subtly signaling that she wasn't standing alone in this fight. The problem? Taylor Swift is not just any friend. She's a global superstar whose every move is tracked by millions of fans and whose reputation is fiercely protected by the most loyal fandom in music. Sources later told Page Six that Taylor was blindsided by how her name was inserted and deeply unhappy about the implication that she was somehow backing Lively's legal battle. In fact, the fallout was immediate. Reports suggest Taylor quietly began to put distance between herself and Blake, cutting back on public contact and making sure her own name stayed far away from the courtroom chaos. But as much as she wanted to step back, the damage was already done, because the moment Swift's name appeared in connection to the lawsuit, an entirely new and unpredictable variable entered the equation: the Swifties. In Hollywood, there are few forces more feared than a fully mobilized fandom. And among them, Taylor Swift's fanbase sits in a league of its own. The Swifties aren't just passionate, they're organized, relentless, and capable of dominating online discourse within minutes of sensing a threat to their idol. So, when Blake Lively's public mention of Taylor's name put Justin Baldoni's legal fight in the same sentence as one of the biggest pop stars in the world, his crisis team knew they had a problem. According to a report uncovered by TMZ and Page Six, Baldoni's PR firm, Street Relations Inc., flagged the potential for a Swiftie-driven backlash as a major concern. In an August 7, 2024 email, the team warned that Blake could activate Taylor's fanbase, triggering a wave of online attacks and social pressure that would be nearly impossible to contain. Their solution? Raise the stakes and the bill. The email spelled it out clearly. Due to the uptick in social chatter, the firm's monthly fee would jump to $30,000 to ensure Baldoni and his studio were, in their words, 100% protected moving forward. Just one day later, an invoice confirmed the charge, making it official. Justin Baldoni was now paying tens of thousands each month, not just to manage his image, but to defend against a fan army that hadn't even mobilized yet. To outsiders, it might have seemed like an overreaction, but to those in the business of reputation management, the threat was real. Because once the Swifties choose a target, it's not just about bad press. It's about trending hashtags, viral videos, and a coordinated effort that can leave a permanent dent in someone's career. And for Baldoni's team, even the possibility of that was worth a small fortune to prevent. For years, Blake Lively and Taylor Swift had been the kind of celebrity friends the media adored, attending each other's events, vacationing together, and sharing public moments that reinforced their bond. But according to insiders, that closeness began to crumble the moment Blake's legal battle pulled Taylor's name into the spotlight. Reports from Page Six paint a picture of Swift feeling blindsided and, more importantly, betrayed. A source claimed Taylor was forever furious at how Blake appeared to be using her for clout and leverage against Justin Baldoni. This wasn't just about an awkward mention. In Taylor's world, image control is everything, and being linked to a volatile lawsuit without her consent was a serious breach of trust. The shift in their dynamics soon became impossible to ignore. Blake, once a regular fixture in Taylor's tightly knit inner circle, was suddenly absent from the star's most exclusive gatherings. Observers noted she wasn't spotted at key events, and whispers about a friendship rift began circulating online. The rumors intensified when Blake reportedly didn't receive an invitation to Selena Gomez's birthday party, a gathering known for being a meeting ground of Taylor's closest friends. For fans who had followed their friendship for years, this was more than gossip. It was a clear signal that something had gone wrong behind the scenes. And while neither woman addressed it publicly, the absence of their once visible camaraderie spoke louder than any statement could. In the court of public opinion, it seemed the bond between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift had fractured, and the ripple effect of that fracture would soon prove costly in more ways than one. In Hollywood, damage control is rarely cheap, but when your name is tangled in a high-profile scandal with the potential to ignite one of the most powerful fan bases in the world, the bill can skyrocket faster than most outsiders can imagine. For Justin Baldoni, that $30,000 monthly PR retainer wasn't just for a few press releases and some polite phone calls to journalists. It meant an entire crisis command center operating around the clock, monitoring social media for any spike in negative sentiment, tracking trending hashtags, flagging viral posts before they spiraled out of control, and planting counter-narratives to keep his side of the story visible. It meant keeping industry allies in the loop, quietly briefing media contacts, and, when necessary, killing stories before they gained traction. This is the shadowy side of reputation management, the part the public never sees. but that can make or break careers in an instant. In this world, perception is currency, and even the smallest rumor can snowball into career-threatening damage if left unchecked. The irony is, these costs pile up even when the feared backlash never fully materializes. In Baldoni's case, Taylor Swift never publicly took a side, never called on her fanbase, and never so much as posted a cryptic lyric about the situation. But the fear of what could happen, the mere possibility of a Swiftie-driven firestorm, was enough to justify a spending spree that would drain hundreds of thousands over the course of the legal fight. And in a city where careers are often decided by headlines, that kind of insurance policy can feel less like a luxury and more like survival. While the $30,000 monthly PR bill makes for a flashy headline, the real story here isn't just about how much Justin Baldoni paid to keep Taylor Swift's fanbase at bay. It's about the sheer scale of influence one artist can wield in today's media landscape. Taylor Swift's reach extends far beyond album sales or sold-out stadium tours. She has the kind of cultural pull that can shift political conversations, boost businesses overnight, and, as Baldoni's team clearly feared, turn a legal dispute into an online crusade. The Swifties are not just loyal fans. They're a digitally mobilized force, adept at trending hashtags, digging up old interviews, and crafting viral narratives that can overwhelm even the most carefully managed public image. In a matter of hours, they can change the tone of coverage, pressure brands to take sides, and leave permanent digital footprints that shape how someone is remembered. And while Taylor herself stayed silent and distanced from the Blake Lively drama, the threat of her indirectly becoming a rallying point was enough to send Baldoni's PR team into high alert. In this way, the story becomes a case study in modern celebrity power, where a single name, even unspoken by its owner, can shift strategies, drain budgets, and alter the trajectory of a legal fight. It's a reminder that in the era of hyper-connected fandoms, reputation isn't just about what you do or say, it's also about who has the ability to change the conversation without lifting a finger. And that's a kind of power that no amount of PR spending can fully control. When all was said and done, the question hanging over Justin Baldoni's expensive PR push was simple. Did it actually pay off? On paper, the $30,000 a month strategy seemed to achieve its primary goal. Taylor Swift never publicly entered the fray, never hinted at taking a side, and the feared tidal wave of Swiftie backlash never came crashing down. But in the world of public relations, success is rarely so black and white. While Baldoni avoided a full-blown fan revolt, the association between his legal troubles and Taylor Swift's name still made headlines in major outlets, ensuring that millions were aware of the connection, however tenuous. And the irony is that sometimes the mere act of preparing for a crisis can keep the story alive. Leaked emails, PR invoices, and internal warnings all became part of the court filings, which in turn fed fresh media cycles. To Baldoni's supporters, the PR bill was a smart investment in protecting his career from a potentially unstoppable force. To his critics, it was a sign that his team overestimated the threat and wasted resources fighting a battle that never came. In reality, the answer may lie somewhere in between. The absence of an attack doesn't always mean there was no threat, just as silence from Taylor Swift doesn't guarantee her fans wouldn't have acted on their own. In the high-stakes arena of Hollywood image management, sometimes the most expensive victories are the ones the public never even notices. In the end, this saga is more than just a bizarre footnote in a messy Hollywood legal battle. It's a reminder of how fragile reputations can be when the stakes involve not just the court of law, but the court of public opinion. One mention of a name, one connection to a superstar with a fiercely loyal following, and suddenly a legal dispute about a film turns into a high-risk PR operation, costing tens of thousands each month. For Justin Baldoni, the fear of a Swiftie uprising was enough to justify spending what most people make in a year, every single month, to keep potential damage under control. Whether that investment was a wise strategic move or a costly overreaction will be debated for years, but it proves one thing without question. In modern entertainment, influence is currency, and some fan bases hold more power than any lawyer, producer, or studio executive. Taylor Swift didn't have to send a single tweet, post a lyric, or step into the courtroom to alter the trajectory of this fight. Her name alone did it. And in a world where one spark can ignite a social media firestorm, the smartest players in Hollywood know that sometimes the most valuable move you can make is to prepare for the war you hope never comes. But what do you think? Was Baldoni's team right to treat this as a looming PR disaster, or did they pour a fortune into stopping a storm that was never going to hit? Drop your thoughts below, because in a story this tangled, the most interesting verdict might not come from a judge, but from you.